Welcome in to Varsity Vibe. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange. Thank you so much for joining us and excited to share our conversation with our guest today, new Marion head football coach, Claude Johnson. Now, Coach Johnson has been around the game of football in the state of Arkansas really his entire life as a standout player at Pine Bluff and then as a coach at El Dorado and Whitehall and most recently at Little Rock Parkview. He has been able to not only build his own style of football, but also help mold players and push them to the next level, as well as, help them become better human beings. And now he's excited to take over his program at Marion and leave his own stamp on it. Of course, the goal is to win state championships, but also just an exciting time to really be able to make this program his own. We talked a little bit about everything, and I am excited to share this conversation with you with Marion head coach Claude Johnson. You've been at Marion now for a little over a month, but let's go back to when this job opened and your intention of wanting to be the head coach. What was it about this job that attracted you right off the bat?
I think I knew it was a place that you could ultimately win. One of those places that I knew had the support in the administration community as well. And it's just a place that was kind of located in a place where I felt would be a smooth transition for my family.
Mhm.
And it's been thus far, it's been a pretty smooth experience.
When you got the call and they offered you the job, what do you remember about that most?
um, Probably a loss for words, honestly. I was sitting with my wife and just kind of we were sitting and talking. I'm like, man, kind of just thinking, man, stressing a little bit. Am I gonna get it? Am I not? I was supposed to get a call. I want to say on a Thursday. He ended up calling me. Dr. Finner ended up calling me a couple of days before that, and man, all I could say I was truly like ecstatic about it. And it was probably one of the better days of my life outside of my kids being born. So just
Yes.
excited about the opportunity and them giving me, the keys to the program and offering that trust in me.
And in this month that you've been in place, like what have you had to do to make the adjustments with you coming in?
First off, I had to get here. Early on, early on, I was kind of commuting back and forth from Little
Mhm.
Rock
Mhm.
because I needed to find housing. But since I've gotten here, it's just trying to be present more than anything. I just wanted to be around the guys, and I knew that once I got here full time, that we would have a spring break, and once we got back from spring break, which is next Monday,
Mhm.
then we would start to kind of implement our standards, expectations of the kids, and kind of start putting in everything that we feel that needs to go in order to sustain a successful program.
And putting together a staff, right? And what did that look
Yeah.
like for you?
Well, we're still in the process, honestly. Being that was kind of a one of those situations where we got hired at a time where guys are still in contracts or under contracts. But we made some real headway on it. We
Mhm.
got Coach Rod Stinson, head coach at Blytheville previously. I actually played for him at Pine Bluff when I was a player, and he was my offensive coordinator. So it's probably one of the cooler experience getting to work with him for the first time. But at this capacity, he's going to be a guy that I truly lean on for a bunch of advice and just
Mhm.
helping me kind of guide me through this situation. And then from there, we got a bunch of uh, other people that we're going to put in place.
Mhm.
A lot of them are younger coaches from around the area, but we think I can't really say names, so I'm trying to
Sure,
kind of talk around
sure.
it a little bit, obviously, because
Understand.
they're under contract and we don't actually have them in place. But I got a bunch of verbal commitments, and
Good.
I'm really excited about what we're putting together. We got young coaches coming from college. We got guys with experience in coordinator roles, and then we had people on staff that are more than capable, really good coaches. We just all got to get aligned and kind of put the vision in place and go from there. But we're excited about what we're building, especially in the coach's office. Uh,
Yeah.
and, we're excited to kind of implement, everything that we want to do as far as building this thing.
And since we're on that topic, bringing someone on staff and a guy that you played for, who was your offensive coordinator in high school, how valuable, you mentioned it a little bit, but how valuable is his knowledge, but also his guidance, as you become a head coach and figure out exactly what you want your program to look like, to have a guy to lean on who has been in the football world for so long?
Well, it's something that you can't truly quantify,
Mhm.
but it's one of those situations to where you just have to kind of soak up every moment and take the lessons and kind of um, essentially build a portfolio of knowledge that he's going to bestow upon me. And it's really an honor to for him to come over and kind of be that mentor through this entire process. And he's one of those guys he's competitive. He's already kind of guided me in the right direction in certain scenarios and situations that we've dealt with thus far. So I'm excited about it. I know he is as well, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to do some special things here.
As a mentor, you've had a lot of them that you've worked for and coached with over the last couple of years, including, Bobby Bolding at Parkview. What have you taken from these guys that you've coached under as you kind of mold yourself into a head coach?
Well, first I'd say I've been very fortunate as a coach to um, be able to work for some of the people I've worked for. Not a lot of people can say that they've worked for three of the best coaches in the state of Arkansas, being Sky Reed, Bobby Bolding, and obviously his brother Brad Bolding. But the things that you learn from them is, obviously structure is a big thing, discipline is a big thing, branding the program is a big thing, and lastly, just um, making sure that you're organized and putting your best foot forward on a daily basis. But the things that I've learned from those guys, it's just like I said, it's hard to quantify. It's been a blessing thus far, and I'll be leaning on those three names throughout this entire journey. And I know they're excited for me, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to prove to them, or show them why I'll be one of the
Yes.
great ones as well.
Yeah. What was maybe some advice you got right off the bat from them when you got the job?
So it's funny because I have yet to be able to really truly sit down and get on the
Yeah.
phone with him. I talked to Coach
Mhm.
Bobby Bowden briefly, while making the transition. And he just gave me a few tidbits on kind of some things that I would have to handle, uh, you know, upon arrival to get into Marion. So some kind of housekeeping things. But I hadn't been able to truly sit down and just kind of talk to him and kind of digress on some things. But we'll get to that point. Right now, I'm just trying to get everything in place and make sure that we are in the best position to be successful.
Mhm. So when I say what does a Coach Johnson led football team look like, how would you describe that?
First class. I pride myself on being a first class person. We're going to be organized, going to be disciplined, and we're going to play hard. And I'm big on being trying to grow young men
Mhm.
into successful men once they graduate. Obviously, you're not going to have a room full of guys that are going to go play college football, even less, or if any will play NFL football. So we want to try to build something that get these guys ready for the situations that are outside of this building. And that's just being good men, being responsible, being good fathers, uh, things like that that are tangible things that they can take with them. That football could be the vessel to teach them those things.
Mhm. You look at the football side of things, and obviously so much goes into the X's and the O's and learning the playbook. But as you mentioned, relationships, really pouring into this team and building those relationships with these kids right off the bat. How big is that?
It's a big deal. So first thing I want to do, first thing I've done thus far is just kind of try to get to know everybody
Yeah.
and individualize these relationships rather than just having a broad approach about everything. I want to kind of get on the floor with them and shake everybody's hand, kind of learn backstories, and just truly let them know that I'm here for them. Ultimately, I truly believe that when you show kids that you care about them, that you got their backs, man, they'll go to great lengths for you. Like they say back in the day, that they run through a brick wall for you.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about building these relationships and just trying to even getting down to the younger levels as far as seventh grade on up to ninth grade, building those relationships so when they get to high school, they know the expectations, they know who I am and what I expect from them, and kind of what the standard is of the program. So it's been a big deal. You got to start with the kids first. They mean the most, and they're why we do it.
Mhm. You got to have that buy-in, and your resume speaks for itself at the places that you've been and what you've been able to do in that kind of player development to be able to help guys get to where they want to go. And on this football side of things, it's getting and playing college football, and getting to be able to continue to play after high school. How fun has it been to develop these guys and the players in your past to see them have successful futures in this sport?
So it's been a true blessing to be around some of the players that I've been around. Obviously, I think that my connections with coaches, but mostly players that I've coached has gotten me to this point. I always have tried to be a great example for the guys that I've coached, and I try to learn from them as well as give them something that they could take from me. But it's been a great experience. I've coached some really good players along the way to getting here, and then we have good players in our locker room. So kid Jeremiah Dent, he's offered by quite a few teams. I think he's maybe in Miami now, doing a visit. So it's been a pleasure. You get into coaching not to make a ton of money, but to kind of impact lives and to make impressions on people that will last a lifetime.
You were a player in this state. You played high school football here. You had yourself a successful career too. How have you seen the football landscape change the most since you were a player, with these athletes, and the sport in general just continue to grow in the state of Arkansas?
Well, to start with the sport, I mean, obviously, uh, the shape of football never changes, but schematics usually evolve over time. But sometimes
Yeah.
it's kind of like a 360 where it always revolves and it gets back to kind of what started it. But to answer your question about the kids, it's a different climate, obviously, than when I was coming up. But that's just something that you have to adapt to, I think, today, which is why I think I'm in this position. I can kind of understand the new era of high school football, even going up into college. The NIL era is what
Mhm.
people refer to it. It's a difference. Obviously, it's more player led in some ways, but as the head coach, you have to be able to kind of draw that line on where you stand as the authority and where the kids stand. So it's just allowing kids to kind of be themselves, but within a program structure, not trying to change everybody and make them all the same, but let everybody have their own individuality, and just building a program, that, a vision that everybody wants to be a part of and try to attain together.
What do you remember the most about playing at Pine Bluff?
I remember, so growing up as a kid, man, Pine Bluff was, just being the thought of being a Pine Bluff zebra was something that I knew for as long as I could remember. So it was something that I always knew I was going to do. My brothers did it. Had family members that were a part of. You always hear these historic stories about the program that just made you want to be a part of something so special. And then when I got my opportunity, got a chance to play for Coach Bobby Bowden, who was when he first got there was kind of intimidating, to say the least. And I think he was just trying to, kind of break the the things that were not so great about the program at that time. Although it was great history at that time, we hadn't been very successful. So to get there, to have a successful career, even though we started out really slow, I got a chance to see how a program could grow if you stay
Mhm.
consistent and if you implemented a standard and truly stood on those principles that you put in place. So, but man, the experience that I got as a player, uh, playing for Coach Bolden was, man, special. We had great moments together as player and coach, and as coaching alongside each other as well. But there's nothing like a Friday night in Pine Bluff, at Jordan Stadium. It's a beautiful thing, especially when I was coming up.
Yes.
In-state rivals. You could smell the barbecue smoke from up on the hill. They call it over there. They call it the hill, right outside the stadium. It's nothing like a Friday night. It really isn't. And
Mhm.
then, not to mention that band getting to play.
Yeah.
While that band's going, it's a real special deal to
Mhm.
have been a part of
Yeah, and to be able to have so much pride, right? To wear that
that.
Pine
Yeah,
Bluff logo on your chest.
of course.
Uh, it's the same kind of pride that you want your kids to feel when they wear that Marion logo on their chest now, right? How do you continue to preach to them just like, hey, really understand what the name across your chest means and who you're playing for, and not just go through the motions.
Well, I think it truly starts with daily goals.
Yeah.
Obviously, Palm Bluff didn't get to that status overnight, but day in and day out grind that you have to put in to kind of build those things up. It takes time, but
Yes.
ultimately, if you stick to the course and kind of hold true to your principles, I think that you can build that here as well because the structure is in place as far as community. The structure is in
Mhm.
place as far as administration. We really want to feel what it feels like to win a state title here,
Mhm.
and I truly feel like the community wants that, the admin wants that, and the kids want that. But
Yeah.
obviously, it doesn't happen overnight. So we have to take advantage of every day that we get an opportunity to be out there practicing, working out. Obviously, it's not going to be easy. There are going to be days that they don't want to be here, but those are the days you get better because you grind through adversity. And we're just trying to, teach them that we got to stay focused and kind of put that work in every day, daily, and you can't look forward. You got to be in the moment.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, spring football's right around the corner. How excited are you? How much are you itching to just get out there and start spring ball?
So we're really excited about it. We actually, as a coaching staff or the guys that are here, kind of put together a plan on how we're going to execute and approach spring. So once they get back from spring break, we're going to start kind of implementing some things slowly. So once we
Good.
get to spring, they can kind of play fast. But we're going to keep it simple. We're going to get good at a few things, and then we're going to try to expand from there. But I'm
Mhm.
excited to see them compete. I'm excited to see guys fight for positions, and
Mhm.
that competitive nature that's in me. And I love it. I love it. I wake up every day excited to be here. So we're excited about it.
Well, we've talked a lot about your team. We've talked a lot about your coaching staff. But most importantly, your dad, your husband, your family, and you don't get to where you are without that kind of support. How wonderful has it been throughout your entire career to have the support that you have from your family?
Um, I tell you this just to start with my parents, man. They've been there for me uh, throughout this process, but a whole, bunch of different situations and processes and
Yeah.
scenarios. So the structural background that I had as a kid up until now is truly, a blessing and truly one of the reasons why I feel like I could sustain success because I had people that truly believed in me coming up, and for as long as I've known. And then my wife, kids, I got a 12-year-old daughter, and I got a set of twins, two girls, and I got a son on the way now. Should be born
Congratulations.
next month. Yeah, thank you. So the sacrifice, obviously, it's a sacrifice. The work that you have to put in order to grow in this business is like no other. And for my wife to understand that and kind of give me the ability and the room to grow in this space is nothing short of a sacrifice for her. And I understand that, and I try to be mindful of that through this process. So it's been a blessing. My family's been super supportive. We're all excited to be a part of the community, and we want to be here for more years to come.
How big is that going to be just as a family dynamic, integrating your family with the coaching staff and their family and making everyone feel supported in that way?
So we want to be super involved with the community, but not only that, but trying to build relationships with, like I said, our coaches' families. I think it's a big deal for my family to be visible and to be, truly hands-on when it comes to helping build this program. I know they're going to support all their strength, with all
Mhm,
their cheers. And it's just, the ability to be at a place like this and to be in a close knit community is
mhm,
a lot different from Little Rock, which is a much bigger area. But the feeling of support around here, the small town feeling, it's really been refreshing, I'd say, and we've enjoyed it. But man, we're looking forward to being a part of a new family now, and uh, we're probably going to get together a lot of times and have a good time with our coaches and our families. So we're excited. Kids are going to be welcome to run around here at the field house anytime they need to, as long as we're not getting work done in here. They're welcome to be here anytime, and that goes for my family and our coaching staff.
yeah. Well, Coach, I have to tell you, I've heard nothing but great things about you, and I know a lot of people excited to see you have success at Marion. So thank you so much for the time and enjoy this first season as the head coach.
I appreciate you for having me on.
A special time to be a part of the Marion football team and wishing him the best of luck in his first season as the Patriots head coach. Again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Varsity Vibe. As always, I want to encourage you to follow us on our social media platforms. That is Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook, as well as subscribe to the newsletter. All you have to do is go to varsityvibearkansas.com and subscribe to that newsletter. It's going to come to your inbox twice a week, as everything you need to know about what's going on in high school athletics around the state. And of course, as always, subscribe right here to our YouTube channel and to wherever you get our podcast so you don't miss one of the great conversations I have with coaches and players from around the state. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange, and I will see you next time.